Hi FlossTube friends, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Tuesday, March 29th at approximately 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you today with a stitching update. So, for those of you that are brand new to my channel, thank you very much for stopping by. Hopefully you'll get something out of this channel or this video that will enable you to maybe start a new hobby or to get inspired to pick up your stitching if maybe you've lost your stitchy bug, or just, you know, get some insight into a different kind of craft that a bunch of people here on YouTube are doing. FlossTube is a subset of YouTube videos where people get on and talk about their love of cross-stitching. This is my channel where I talk about cross-stitching, other hobbies I do like diamond painting and paper crafts and other stuff like that. I do a little bit of ghost hunting. I might talk about that. I play board games and video games with my husband and family and friends. I might talk about that, and I might throw a little bit of other life stuff in there as well, which I'm going to do a little bit tonight, but we'll get into that here in a bit. If you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for coming back. It's good to see friends, and I'm really glad you came back. So again, I hope you get something out of this video, and I encourage you, if you're a new watcher or a returning watcher but you have not yet subscribed, click the subscription button below in the description box and click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. The last couple of weeks I've been doing it about once a week, maybe once every week and a half, because I've been participating in a cross-stitching event called March Stitchy Madness. That was, I'll talk a little bit more in detail about that, but anyway, I've been, this is kind of my last update for March Madness for the month of March. So typically my videos come up about every 2 weeks or so, give or take. They were coming about once a week, but if you click the notification bell, you'll be notified when I do upload new content. So I encourage you to subscribe and do that if you haven't already. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. I love spending time with good stitchy friends and just friends in general. So thank you very much for coming back, and I hope you get something out of this video today. So I have a video, like I said in my intro. This video is going to be about March Stitchy Madness updates. I have a little bit of other updates, some new purchases, some haul, and a couple other things to talk to you about, life in general. It's been a little rough since my last video for me, a little bit. Kind of had a rough 2 weeks or so. I might have talked a little bit about one of the life updates in my last video. I don't remember for sure, but had something happen over the weekend and yesterday that was a little sad. But I'll get to that here in a minute. So I have some good news that came out of the last 2 weeks. So my birthday was March 18th, Saturday, March 19th. I had a mammogram done, and it was my annual mammogram. And they found something on the mammogram that they were a little suspicious of. It was a little sus. So they called me back on Monday, and I had to reschedule a diagnostic mammogram. So I had a diagnostic mammogram on Thursday, the 24th. And luckily for me, I was worried about it because I had it scheduled on Monday the 21st. But so I kind of worried about it all week. You know, I turned 51 on the 19th or on the 18th, and yeah, I was a little worried about the mammogram, but turns out everything is clear. So I was supposed to have a mammogram and an ultrasound on the 24th, and I didn't need the ultrasound, so everything is good. I found out I don't have anything that's suspicious anymore on my mammogram, so I'm back to annual mammograms. Good thing for that. So that's good. That's a good plus. Yay for that. I can report that as of right now, I am cancer free. No cancer here for me this year. Yay. On a little bit of a sadder note, My in-laws, you might have remembered, or you might have watched some of my videos back from like 2017, 2018, 2019, in that time frame, where, especially 2018, where I talked about my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, my husband's dad and stepmom. They had some serious health issues, and they both ended up passing away a couple of months apart in 2018. They had a dog that they were lovingly taking care of. Her name was Rosemary, and she was a pug chihuahua mix dog. She had the body of a pug with the tail and the little face and nose of a chihuahua. So she had really long nose, really big bad ears. She was really kind of cute. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of her. Anyway, when the in-laws got sick, we kind of took her under our wing because we were the best people in the family, and the most likely people to be able to take care of her. So anyway, this is what she looked like a couple years ago. So this is Rosemary. Little spunk of a dog. She was about the size of a pug, but she had the nose of a chihuahua. And if you look really closely, you can see her two front teeth. She had a bit of an underbite, so her two fangs, I think they're called canines, but her two fangs would stick out, and it would help keep her tongue in her mouth. Otherwise, her tongue would flop out. It was really cute. But her underbite was rather funny. It made everybody laugh. So when we took Rose in 2018, she was roughly about 15 years old. So she had a couple of different health issues that we dealt with. She had really bad teeth, so when we took her in, we switched her diet. We put her on all soft food. So we were buying Fresh Pet, we were buying Caesar, we were buying Beneful, you know, just all the soft food that we could buy her, just because, you know, her teeth were bad. And so we gave her treats every day after her walks and stuff, so we had to find soft treats. So we were using Rachel Ray Nutrish treats and nudges, I think is what they're called, because they're the softer treats, and she could chew them up real well. So over, you know, and then of course in 2019 my stepdad passed away. She actually flew out to California with me in June of that year, to spend about 6 weeks out in 6 to 8 weeks out in California with my mom. And she did really well on that plane. It was her first time on a plane, so that was kind of interesting. It was my first time taking a dog on a plane, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, so she went with me out to California in 2019, and then at the end of 2019 we moved my mom from California to Ohio after my stepdad passed away. And then in 2020 we ended up buying a house together, so Mom, Dylan, and I could live together. And we sold our house that we owned. Mom had already sold her house in California. We sold our house that we owned and we moved in together. And Rosie came along for the ride. She was doing really good. Last year we had a couple of incidents where she needed surgery. She had bladder stones removed, like actually quarter-sized bladder stones removed out of her bladder, and she also needed teeth surgery because her teeth were just pretty bad. So I think they pulled all but 3 or 4 of her teeth in her mouth, so she basically had to gum everything. So the fact that we already had her on soft food was just perfect, and she wasn't responding really well to the prescription diet that we were getting from the vet for the soft canned food. So we just went back to Caesar and Beneful and all the soft foods that we could get for her. But she was getting older. We think she had been deaf for a good 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. And we knew that she had cataracts in her eyes because, you know, her eyes were just a touch cloudy. She could still see and everything like that. Up until about 6 months ago, you know, we noticed there was some changes in her eyesight. Like, she was able to see shadows and to see movement and stuff like that. But I don't know how clearly she was able to see. But anyway, she'd had issues with her liver, and her liver was failing, essentially. And with liver failure in dogs, it kind of comes with a change in their appetite and their willingness to eat food. She'd go for a few days where she would eat gangbusters. She was always hungry. And then she'd go for like a week or two and just not really wanting to eat much food. So we'd kind of switch her food up a little bit to kind of see what we could get her to eat. And then, you know, we'd get her to eat something and she'd be all right for a while. And then, you know, a few days would go by and she'd be not willing to eat again. Well, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, she's been kind of on that wishy-washy. I want to eat, I don't want to eat, I want to eat, I don't want to eat, I don't want to eat anything, and I want a bunch of stuff. But it was like every day it was like a different thing. So we have been trying to fight with her to get her to eat and to get her to maintain eating. She never really got much table scraps except for maybe some meat. Like if we fixed some steak, we got her a couple of small pieces of steak as a treat, some chicken, some turkey, some pork. We didn't feed her a lot of steak, but we did feed her, you know, if we had salmon, we'd feed her a little bit of salmon. It was kind of like a little bit of treat. But we wouldn't feed her a lot because the meat like that would kind of mess her up and kind of give her Hershey squirts or runny shit. And it would be a mess to clean up because she was also having mobility issues, you know, arthritis. She had arthritis too. So she had a little bit of mobility issues. Sometimes she just couldn't wake up fast enough or couldn't get up fast enough. And so she'd start walking around and just start pooping everywhere she was walking around. So Dylan phrased it helicopter poop. And if her poop was runny, it was helicopter runny poop everywhere. It was kind of gross. Luckily, we don't have carpet or rugs anywhere, so it was real easy to clean up, but it was still kind of gross. Anyway, when we'd let her out several times a day, and we have a 3/4 of an acre of property, and our house sits well off the road. So usually when we'd let her out the back door in the sunroom, and she'd do a couple of laps around the house. And it was getting to the point where you could see the trail that she was leaving around the house. We have a nice little walking trail now around our house. And she would do a couple laps, and then we'd let her back in the front door. And then give her a treat, and everything would be good. We'd do that several times a day. And then at night before bed, my husband and I would leash her up, and we'd take her out for a walk. We were doing that because taking her out for walks, I was working from home during the pandemic, and I could take her out for walks because I was at home, but it was just getting a little more difficult. She, with her arthritis and everything, it was just, she didn't want to walk that much, but we made sure to take her on a long walk before bed at night. And so that's what we were doing. So Saturday afternoon, we did our normal errands, and we've been noticing that some days she would seem a little more confused than others. Like she'd get up and she'd be looking around like she didn't quite know where she was, and she'd think she saw something, and then she'd be like, you know, startled, but nothing would be there. Or like she'd be walking through a room and there'd be sunlight in a spot, so she'd walk through the sunlight and all of a sudden get to the shaded part and like jerk back like something popped up in front of her that she thought was going to hit her or something. So we noticed that she was dealing with that confusion. And a couple weeks ago we had some snow. We let her out during the day, and she was acting like she was snow blinded. She was having a hard time kind of following a path around the house, kind of seeing where she was. Her path was widening out. She would be walking on the ground and then all of a sudden jerk back like she was going to step on something that was going to smack in her face. We noticed that her eyesight too, her eyes were looking a little more clouded, and we think that her eyesight was starting to go worse. And she was just getting confused. Saturday when we let her out, normally she'd do like 2 or 3 laps around the house and then we let her back in. About 7 or 8 minutes after we let her out, Dylan went to the front door to let her in. Couldn't find her, so he grabbed his coat real quick because it was kind of cold, and he started walking around the house. He did a lap around the house, and he didn't see her. Didn't see her at all. He calls to me. I grab my coat. We go outside. We both walk around the house. We kind of do a little bit of a wider berth around our 3/4 of an acre of yard, and we didn't see her. And we're like, oh, great. So he walks out to the front, starts walking down the street to the main thoroughfare at the end of our street, because our street dead ends, but it splits at one side. So I started going towards the split and the dead end, and he started towards the main street, the only entrance to our street. And so we're looking around, because she's a little dog. She's the size of a pug, you know, and she's the same color of as a pug. And Dylan saw one of the neighbors 5 houses down. And she's never really left our yard. She might get to the neighbor's driveway, but the neighbor's driveway is like, you know, 10 feet from the edge of our yard. She might have gotten to our neighbor's driveway on the east side, but she never really left our yard at all in the 2 years that we've been here by herself without being on a leash. And Dylan saw one of the neighbors 5 houses down, and he's like, you wouldn't happen to be looking for a dog, would you? And my husband's like, yes. Is she small and like a pug? And the guy said, yeah, she's in my backyard, and she's trying to go around my shed, but I think she's confused, and she doesn't know where she's at. And Dylan shook his head, and he's like, yeah, that would be her. She was 5 yards away, like we're backyards. All of us have at least 3/4 of an acre. So you can imagine she had taken quite a jaunt. And so the neighbor let Dylan into his backyard. Dylan saw her. She had fallen a couple of times into some mud. We have a sinking storm sewer kind of on the back of our property, and you know, all our properties on our side of the street have this issue, and so there's kind of like a muddy area and stuff like that. And when he picked her up, he noticed that her lip was bleeding. So we think what happened is she probably fell and got dazed, and then just started to wander because she didn't know where she was at. And that really surprised us. So we brought her in, we gave her a bath, we cleaned her up, we checked. We thought her only tooth, because she had only one of her fangs left. It was on this side. She had one of her fangs left after the teeth surgery last year, and we thought it was her tooth at first, but then we noticed it was just the side of her lip that was, you know, bleeding. It wasn't bleeding terribly bad, and it stopped after a minute or two, but anyway, we got her cleaned up, got her settled down, and everything like that. Sunday, we made sure that we were with her the entire time she was outside, and she was really confused on Sunday. And Sunday she just wasn't doing real well. She didn't want to get up out of bed, and I let her back in the house, and she wandered over towards the back door, and we have a couch and a little IKEA end table and an IKEA chair. So we have an IKEA couch, IKEA like end table, and an IKEA chair along the wall in our back sunroom, and then the doors over here, and then Rosie's bed was on this side of the couch. So we had Rosie's bed, a couch, a nightstand, and a chair, and then the door to the backyard was over here. And she had wandered over past the couch over to the nightstand, or over to the little end table. And the end table has 2 drawers in it, so it's just like a solid end table. It doesn't have any room underneath legs or anything like that she could get under. She kind of bumped her head into the table and like took a step back, and then was like just staring at it like she didn't see it was there. It's gray, but she didn't see it. And then she went to go take a step forward, and her whiskers brushed up against it, and she stepped back again. And she was just really, really, really confused. And Dylan and I made the decision that we were going to go ahead and put her to sleep. It was getting over the last week. it was getting harder and harder to kind of take care of her and watch her. And then with the incident on Saturday, and then with how she was acting Sunday, we didn't see it getting better this time. So we made the decision to put her to sleep. So yesterday, I left work 2 hours early, and we took Rosie in to the vet about 5 o'clock and had Rosie put to sleep. Let me see. So this was a picture. Let me show you. This was a picture of Rosie that I took Monday morning. She wasn't doing really well. She was just kind of sleeping, and she spent most of the day sleeping. We told Mom stays home during the day. I work in the office Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we told Mom not to let her out. And this was a picture I took of her right before we took her to the vet. She wasn't doing real good. But anyway, so we put Rosie to sleep yesterday. And it was a tough decision, but it was one I think that needed to be made. She was almost 19, if she wasn't already 19, and we think it was time. We miss her. We look at the spot where her bed used to be, and we just kind of, you know, remember her. There's different things that I've remembered. Last night, my husband and I took a walk before bed. Normally we'd take her on that walk with us, and so we were kind of talking as we were walking about different things we missed about her. Like, she used to try and go up the neighbors' driveways on the way home, thinking it was our driveway, and then we'd have to pull on her leash a little bit to get her to come back to the street so we could walk over to our driveway. Whenever we would get to our driveway, we'd unhook our leash, and she'd go running up the driveway, stand at the front door, just kind of wiggling and dancing around, waiting for us to come up to the front door so we could open the door for her and she could go in and get her treats. She was always like that, always wanted treats after her walks. She was just a really great dog, and we're gonna miss her. She was one of the last links to my in-laws that the family had. So yeah, it's a little bittersweet. But anyway, we said goodbye to Rosie Rue. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up her ashes later this week. We're having her cremated. And then she can be with our 3 cats, Halloween, Stormcloud, and Gurr, and sit up there with my stepdad Gus's ashes in the living room until we have the opportunity to plant a couple of trees and bury the 3 cats and Rose in the backyard. So that is our plan, and everything like that. So yeah, it's been kind of a little bit of a rough 2 weeks, but good news, don't have cancer. Sad news, we had to put Rose down. So yeah, I will be right back. I have to take a quick break, and then I will resume recording. See you in a bit. So hi everybody, sorry about that. I had to take a little bit of a break and take care of a thing or two. That was only about a 5 or 10 minute break. So thank you very much. Sorry about that. Anyway, I was talking about Rose. I was considering doing kind of like a video and photo montage for you for the end of this video, but I don't think I'm going to do that for Rose, and to show you Rose over the last few years, pictures and stuff that we have. I don't think I'm going to do that, unless you guys really want to. Maybe I'll do like a separate interlude video and just kind of do a tribute to Rose at a later date. But anyway, so yeah, we put Rose down, and everything is okay. We've got a little bit of adjusting to do, and it's going to be weird without her in the house, and you know, having to worry about her. But it'll be kind of nice in a way that we don't have that to worry about. So I am actually going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So those of you that have watched my last couple of videos that I uploaded this month know that I'm participating in March Stitchy Madness that the Steel City Stitchers here on YouTube is hosting. And here is my bracket. So this is kind of like March Madness for basketball. It's like a tournament. You start off with, you can do it any way you want, but with this one, I started out with 4 WIPs, works in progress, and 4 new starts, and they started out over here. And then the winners from this week moved over to the second bracket. Then the second week, I stitched on these projects, and then the 2 winners in purple moved on to this last bracket. I stitched, because of everything going on, it took me like a week. I didn't stitch it all during the week, last week, just because of everything else going on. And so this weekend, I spent time and I stitched on the 2 that moved forward. So the 2 projects that moved forward were Mill Hill Baby Jesus Kit and Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic. So this week, what I'm going to do, after stitching on both of these projects, 1 day each, I have total stitches for them. For Baby Jesus, I managed to put in 347 stitches on Baby Jesus, and for Pandemic, I put in 368 stitches. I had determined earlier that I was going to roll D6 or 6-sided dice for this last bracket to determine the winner. And these other 2 brackets over here, I was dividing the stitches stitched by 20 to get the number of die to roll. So this first column I rolled D20s, for the second column I rolled D12s, and for this column I'm rolling D6s. But because I stitched well over 300 stitches on both projects, I decided to divide it by 50 stitches instead of by 20. So I roll less. So because, you know, this last game is supposed to be close and it's supposed to be a pretty good matchup of the pieces. So tonight I am going to determine the winner of my March Stitchy Madness. Now because it is the 29th, I'm not going to have time to finish whichever one. Pandemic has a long way to go. There's no way I can finish in 2 days. No way at all. And I'm probably not going to be able to finish Baby Jesus. So this is just to determine the winner of March Stitchy Madness. So anyway, for Baby Jesus, I'm going to roll 6 D6. And for Pandemic, Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic, I'm going to be rolling 7 D6 because there was slightly more. So tonight we're picking the winner for between Mill Hill Baby Jesus and Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic. So this is the meat and potatoes of my thing for tonight. So let me show you progress updates. So this is Mill Hill Baby Jesus. It's from the Nativity Trilogy. This was a new start for me this month, and I did get a chunk done. So the 347 stitches I did on him were the stones around Baby Jesus. All the gray stones around Baby Jesus. Doesn't look like a lot, but yeah. So yeah, I pretty much have the manger. You can pretty much see it. So that was the progress on Mill Hill Baby Jesus. And Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic is on my large scroll frame. So last week, for my update, you know, I had worked on this motif right in here to get this done. Well, I wanted something fairly easy to do, and I only had up to about right here done in the border. But as you can see, I have moved all the way across the top. So all of this border section here, all the way across the top to this little bit that goes down right here, that is what I worked on the day I worked on it, and that was 368 stitches. And that is how wide Long Dog Pandemic Sampler is. So the one over here, this over here, is the end. Yep. So that is how big Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic is going to be, you guys. So this is really, really kind of hard. This is 36 inch. These are 36 inch scroll rods here. So you can see that it's pretty large. It's a pretty large painting, or not painting, but a pretty large cross stitch project. And this is on the equivalent of about 28 or 30 count, done over 2, using 1 strand of sulky floss. And I'm using sulky variegated floss. So that is Long Dog Pandemic. All right. So I will flip the camera angle and we will get to rolling for March Stitchy Madness winner. All right, I'll be right back. All right, here I am, you guys. Here I am, ready to get going on the to determine the winner of my March Stitchy Madness bracket. All right, we have Baby Jesus with 347 stitches. I am rolling 6 dice for Baby Jesus. Then Long Dog Pandemic got 368 stitches. I am rolling 7d6 for that. So we'll get to the roll for Baby Jesus first. So I am doing 6 dice. You see I have 6d6 right here. I will put this one up, this extra one off to the side. I have my calculator ready to go, and here we go. Drum roll, please. All right. Well, this is a pretty decent roll. Okay, so we have a pretty decent roll here. Let me make sure of something. Okay, so on this die here in particular, you'll see that it has the word do on it, like what Homer Simpson would say. The word do, D'(OH). This is a 1 on this die. I'm trying to get, but anyway, this is a 1 on here. It says dope. So that is a 1. All right. Then we have a 5. You can see the 5 pips. Then we have a 4. Then we have a 5. Then we have a 6. And then we have another 6. So for Baby Jesus, we have a final score of 27. Woo-hoo! Baby Jesus, final score of 27. Meant to put that down there. Okay, final score of 27. All right, so now Long Dog Pandemic, we are rolling 7 dice. All right, so here we go. Drum roll, please. All right. Okay, so this one, it's going to be close, you guys. It can be very close. So for this one, the Origins 06 die face that you see here is a 6. That's a 6 on that roll. I have 2 of them. This is Origins 2020. That is also a 6, because if you look at the opposite side, it is a 1 pip. So that is what I rolled, Origins 2020. So we know that is the 6. Okay, let me clear out the thing and we will get to the results. Okay, so we have Origins 6-sided die. 6. We have another 6. We have a 5. We have a 6. We have a 5. We have a 2. And we have a 1. This was a really close battle, you guys, but in all honesty, we have our winner! Winner, chicken dinner. So, with a final score of 31 to 27, it was a really close finish. Pandemic wins March Stitchy Madness. Pandemic. kind of rather fitting for for March Stitchy Madness for 2022, you guys. Pandemic is the ultimate winner with a score of 31 over Baby Jesus's 27. Pandemic wins. Congratulations to Pandemic. The interesting thing is, Pandemic was also on my WIPGO board for the month of March, was one of the numbers called. And with the amount of stitching that I got done during March Stitchy Madness, I only have 114 more stitches to finish up for WIPGO for Pandemic. So I'm probably going to be working on that this weekend to get that finished up. I know April starts on Friday, but yeah, I'm probably going to be finishing up Pandemic, if not these last two or 3 days, but at least the first weekend in April to get Pandemic's WIPGO box marked off for the year. So congratulations to Pandemic. Pandemic wins March Stitchy Madness. Hooray! The crowd goes wild. All right, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll clean up a little bit and get back to my regular video. All right, see you guys in a bit. Thanks. Bye. All right, hi everybody, I'm back. Yay! Well, congratulations to Pandemic for winning my March Stitchy Madness bracket. That was a fun challenge. I may do it a little differently next year, but anyway, congratulations to Long Dog Samplers Pandemic for winning my March Stitchy Madness. Yay! All right. Wanted to show you my WIPGO board. The numbers for April have been called. So for April, I am doing the squares in pink. We have a square number 7, which is Hands-On Design, or Heaven and Earth Designs, Princess and the Pea. And then the other one is square number 10, which is Finish Stitching on a piece that is close to being done that is not already listed on your board. So I have a couple of small whips that I have previously started. Baby Jesus is one of them that was in my March Stitchy Madness. I might decide to finish that up. That doesn't have a lot of stitching left in it, and I could probably do the beading too for April. But I have a couple other small projects that aren't included on the list that I could probably finish up for the squares for April. For March, I have a Mid-Amish Life. The goal on that one is 1,000 stitches. I think right at 250, so I have quite a bit of stitching left to do on that. And then Long Dog Samplers, which is the other green square for the month of March. I had to do 1,000 stitches on that. I'm 114 stitches away from completing this. So I don't have any new progress because I didn't do any stitching during the week. I stitched over the weekend on Long Dog, Pandemic, and the Baby Jesus. And then I was working on my StitchCon small that I can't show you because it's kind of a surprise until after StitchCon in June. Because it's a piece I designed myself, and I'd rather not give any hints out to anybody that might be watching my FlossTube before StitchCon to what my piece may be and what to look for at Weekend B. So anyway, that is what I have for you this month. I'm doing a little bit of stitchy wrap up. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna pause for a second. Forgot that I wanted to print something off. Give me just a second. So hi, I'm back. So those of you that have watched some of my videos also know that I'm in a lot of Facebook challenge groups. I've pared a lot of them back for 2022 just because it was getting to be a lot to try and keep up with what challenges were with what groups and which ones I was participating in. But one of the groups I'm in this year, I haven't really participated like I was hoping to, but it is the Magazine Monthly Challenge Facebook group. The main purpose of this Facebook group was to get you to work on your magazine projects. You know, those projects that you bought magazines to get the patterns for. This was to encourage you to start to dig those out and be able to work on your magazine projects. So every month they come out with a theme for the month and then an acrostic. So for April, well, let me show you March's first. March was my birthday. They also have a birthday one out. I couldn't figure out for the birthday month what my theme and acrostic or what my projects were going to be, so I actually didn't bother doing the March. The actual group theme was animals for Carolyn's birthday, and the acrostic was furry or friend, and or you could do both. As you can see, I put in a mid-Amish life for 500 stitches. I'm not sure I got that one completed, and I'm probably not going to get it completed by Thursday. So yeah, I really didn't participate in Magazine Monthly Challenge. The April Magazine Monthly Challenge theme and acrostic has been released. April's theme is literature, and the acrostic is bookmark. So I still have to spend a little bit of time filling this out and determining what projects for April I'm going to include in my March stitching or April stitching. So that is that. All right. So for Magical Stitches Mystery Year, we are reading Amanda Lee Embroidery Mysteries, and we are on book number 2 for the month of March. I still have to finish reading book number 2, so I have that to do. And this week, the Stitchy Challenge for the week is, I wrote it in April's tracking, but for this week in Magical Stitches, we are doing a shopping spree. So basically, you post 5 stock photos of 5 of your whips in the event page, and then you look at all the other people's posts of their 5 whips, and you pick up to 5 whips to quote-unquote purchase, and then you stitch at least 100 stitches on a whip of your choice to purchase that new thing. You put your list in there, and then for the number of stitches that you do, you can choose between one of 4 rewards. So if you stitch 200 stitches, you can spend 200 stitches for a weekly task exemption, 400 stitches for an entire weekly exemption, 500 stitches for 1 monthly task exemption, or 1,000 stitches for an entire month exemption. I don't know how much I'll get done because this only goes until April 3rd, so it goes until Monday the 3rd. I don't know if, no, it goes until Sunday. Is that Sunday? Yes, April 3rd is Sunday. So between now and Sunday, I don't know how much stitching I'll get done on the task, but I have to go into the group and pick that. I don't know if they have the April Stitching Estate ready to go. I should have checked that, but let's see. We will get to that. Come on. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. Magical Stitches Mystery Year. All right, so I am kind of clicking through that. Upcoming events: March Stitching Estate Shopping Spree pop-up. See more. Random DMC Yearly Challenge, Yearly Stitching Challenge. They don't have the April challenge up yet, but we are on book 3 in the for April. We are on book 3 for the Amanda Lee Mystery. Book number 3 in the Cozy Mystery, the Embroidery Mystery series, is Thread Reckoning. So we will be reading Thread Reckoning for April. The one this month is called Stitch Me Deadly, and I'm about 2/3, give or take, 2/3, give or take, of the way through that book. So that is coming up for April. All right, so one of the other starts that I had for the month of March was Stained Glass Hello Kitty. And let me pull it up for you. Cross-stitch pattern. Okay. I don't know if this was the same. Yeah, this is the same. This was by the same company that I purchased this from, is Acrostic pattern on Etsy. Give me just a second. Oh, stained glass Hello Kitty. Acrostic pattern on Etsy. You're not going to be able to see it really well, but anyway, so this is the piece. This was my new start on Saturday the 19th. Technically, it was for my birthday start. I used this in Sane Stitchers 555 stitching challenge, where you pick a piece and you do 5 sets of 50 stitches on a project to earn 5 entries for the end of your drawing in Sane Stitchers. So this was the piece I decided to start, and I started up here in this corner with the border square part. So that is where I started. This is roughly 270 stitches, give or take. So you can see that up there. Yep, it's just in the black border. Sorry for the shadows, you guys. Hang on, maybe that'll show up a little better. But that is 270 stitches, give or take. And I'm doing this is 32 count, easy count fabric. And I am stitching it 1 thread over 1 full cross on 32 count. Each one of these squares on the fabric is 100 stitches. So yeah, I just got a measly little start, but this was my birthday start on the 19th. The day that I actually had my mammogram, my first mammogram this month. So yeah. And then of course you can see I have a little Hello Kitty needle minder on my project. That I had this these pair of earrings. I bought some cheap earrings at a closeout that were Hello Kitty. So I just used a neodymium magnet on the back and another neodymium magnet, and made the little needle minder. So this is a little Hello Kitty needle minder. And then I have this really cute pink gingham button that it has the magnet on the back. You can see I put the magnet on the back. And that is my needle minder for this project. So yeah, personally made needle minder, Hello Kitty needle minder, using a piece of Hello Kitty dangling earring. So there you go. Stained glass Hello Kitty. So that was the other thing I kind of worked on this week too. I'd put a few stitches in it. But besides Pandemic and Baby Jesus, I really didn't get much into stitching on this. Besides that and my Hello Kitty small. So here is my March listing. So this was St. Patrick's Day and my birthday. I didn't do any stitching. This was the 19th. Then this was all this week. I didn't do any stitching all this week. And then this was this past weekend. And then yesterday we put rows down, so I marked it in gray. So looking forward to May. Have a couple of things coming up in, or looking forward to April rather. Have a couple of things coming up in April. So you can see here I have this day marked off. That is a day I have off. That weekend, April 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Yeah, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th of April is Buckeye Game Fest, which is a local board game convention here in Columbus. So I'm volunteering for that on Thursday night and Friday morning. So I will be attending Buckeye Game Fest on that weekend, April 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then International Hermit and Stitch Weekend in April. That is also WIPGO weekend for those of you who are participating in WIPGO. That is the weekend that you focus on your WIPGO board pieces. So I don't know how much stitching I'll be getting done that weekend, but anyway, International Hermit and Stitch Weekend in April is the 14th through the 17th. IHSW, International Hermit and Stitch Weekend. That is also a Facebook group. You can do a search on Facebook for IHSW. And then the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Facebook group. Their quarterly marathon is coming up April 22nd through 24th. So that is what this weekend is denoting right there. 22nd through the 24th of April. So you can see I have quite a few events marked off for my April stitching plans. I am hoping to be able to work on WIPGO, finishing up maybe a March square. I also have determined for February, I had a full coverage piece of choice, WIP or New Start. This was called, square number 5 was called in February. I didn't know what piece I was going to pick for it, but I have since determined this week that I'm going to use stained glass Hello Kitty as a new start. So my goal on that is to do 1,000 stitches. Since I'm doing full cross, it was either 2,010 or 1,000 full cross. So my goal is to hit 1,000 stitches on the stained glass Hello Kitty for February. So I might actually be able to nip February in the butt, in the bud, and butt. And then also the other February one that I have to do was Stitch Rovia's Let It Snow. I had a lot to do left on that. The goal on that was, I initially had the goal on that as 1,000 stitches, or as a finish, and I have way too many stitches to complete. I have well more than 1,000 stitches to complete on that in order to finish it, even after working on it for February. So I changed the goal to that to just 1,000 stitches. So hopefully maybe WIPGO weekend I can work on getting the February goals done, and a mid-Amish life for March, try and get caught up on my goals. So that would be pretty good, because I'm hoping by WIPGO weekend, which is actually the weekend of BGF, that I can at least finish Long Dog Samplers down here. I can get the 114 stitches in that, and then kind of see where I am for that. All right. So for creatively crafting, talked about that, got all my things. All right, creatively crafting. You have to be on their email list in order to get this. This is from Creatively Crafting. Every month they send you a file with a stitching log where you track your number of stitches. Then they have a stitching goal for the month. The month of March was 5,000 stitches. I'm not counting my StitchCon small stitches in this, so I'm right about 2,900 stitches for the month of March. The goal is 5,000 stitches. And then they have the March Stitcho, which you get points for, if you have a horizontal line all the way across, you get 3 points. A vertical line, you get 2 points. The outer square, you get 5 points. And if you fill the entire thing in, you get 10 points. So right now I'm sitting at 2 points for the March Stitcho. You tally up your points, you post them in the group, and I think they pick a winner every month. Yeah, I think it's a pattern every month. So I have to finish these out. I don't know if I'll get the March Stitchy challenge, the stitches challenge done for 5,000 stitches, because I have like 3 days to get like 2,000 stitches, 2,100 stitches. I don't think I'm going to do it to get the points for that, but yeah. So this is kind of what March looked like for me. You can kind of see there's lots of days when I didn't stitch, you guys, or I didn't, at least I wasn't counting my stitches. There's lots of stitches in there. My biggest day so far, what looks like March 26th, I had 506 stitches on March 26th. that I was counting. So anyway, so that is Creatively Crafting. You have to be on their email list in order to get these files. But if you go to free Cross Stitch Challenge group, free, capital F, capital R, capital E, free Cross Stitch Challenge group, you can get how to sign up for their email list so you can get these monthly files. You can also probably most likely go to creativelycrafting.com to get information on how to sign up for their monthly challenge. So there is that. There is that. Didn't do the birthday, March Stitchy Madness. That can go in my files. Yay, yay, yay. Alright. I didn't do too much in Magical Stitches this week. Or this week and this month in general. I didn't work on many of the challenges, so I don't really have any guesses for my Magical Stitches mystery clue thing. So for the month of April, I have started my April tracker. So this is my these are my monthly goals. I have this week's Magical Stitches shopping spree on here, but that is actually for the rest of March and into the first part of April. Magazine monthly challenge, I have the theme is literature, the acrostic is bookmark. For semi-sane, I am considering doing April focus. For you post a picture for every 1,000 stitches you do, and you earn an entry into the end of your drawing for that. I'm going to be working on stained glass Hello Kitty, I believe, for that. This or that is their non-counting event. You can work on a piece with the word April in it, or a spring or Easter related piece, and I might have something that I can start for that. So I don't know. There's also Music Mania. Post a song and you stitch the length. So if the song is 3 minutes and 17 seconds, you'd put 317 stitches in that piece, and then you move on song by song by song. And they're also doing an Easter egg hunt. Stitchtalk Heaven and Earth Designs, Stitchtalk HAED, April 1st to the 30th. You stitch on any HAED for a minimum of 5 minutes a day, and pick one self-care item out of their 30 items that they have listed in the event, and you post about it, and that's their thing for April. It's called April Self-Care. So you pick one self-care thing to do and you post about it, and then you work on any HAED, Heaven and Earth Design, for 5 minutes a day. I don't know if I'll be participating in that fully. I'll probably just take the self-care part of it. I don't know. It kind of depends. And of course, WIPGO is squares number 7 and 12. Square 7 for me is Princess in the Pea for 1,000 stitches, and square 10 is finish stitching on a piece that's not already on your board. So that could be any of my whips. So here is the calendar so far for April. So you can see here I have this day marked off as a holiday for me. That is Buckeye Game Fest. I am working Buckeye Game Fest Friday morning, so I took off for that weekend. The pink square here just denotes the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Then we have WIPGO weekend on there. Full Coverage Fanatics is having a scavenger hunt the 15th, 16th, and 17th. You can go to the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group to find out more about that. And then I have International Hermit and Stitch Weekend here. IHSW is that weekend. There's some more. Also, the WIPGO draw is slated for the 27th. She did it early because she had time. But this is my April thing. Those of you that have watched my video recently, especially for March, know that in March, one of my goals was to donate crocheted blankets to a local organization here called My Very Own Blanket. I have put on here that I want to crochet 3 blankets for April. So that is on my Stitchy calendar as well. 2 weeks ago, I went and bought 3 more pieces of fabric. I still have like maybe four pieces of fabric, of fleece fabric, 1.5 yard sections to crochet edging on for them. So I'd like to finish 3 for the month of April. I don't know if I'll donate them in the month of April or wait, but I'm up to 5 for this year, you guys. 5 blankets. My goal, I think, was 24 or 25 blankets, so that's 2 a month. 1 behind, but I'm hoping doing 3 in April will get me caught up, and then I can do 2 every month after that. I'm hoping to keep up with that or to do more. I'd like to do more than 24 blankets this year, but we shall see. I did pick up the tags to stitch on the blankets, and I do now know what they expect, or how they expect the tags to be sewn onto the blankets that you donate to them, so that is good. And that is really all I have for plans and stitchy updates. So I have a little surprise that I actually got in the mail today. So those of you that have been around a while know that I, among a bunch of other people here, contribute to the FlossTube community here on YouTube. And there's a channel that I just started to watch called 2 Needles Pulling Thread. I'm not sure where they might have gotten my address, but I got this lovely mailer today. I got this lovely mailer today in this envelope, and I was really surprised to open it up and see this little note. It says, "Tina, thanks for being our 1000th subscriber. Missy and Kathy from 2 Needles Pulling Thread." They sent me this wonderful little chart, you guys, for being their 1000th subscriber. This was such a nice touch. Wasn't expecting it, but thank you very much. Thank you so much. So this is Winter Blue House by Pine Mountain. And it's their Smidgen, I'm assuming it's their Smidgen series, but it's Winter Blue House. So the finished size on this is 42 by 45, approximately 3 inches by 3 inches. And they give you the supply list. So it's charted in DMC colors. There's 10 DMC colors in here. By Pine Mountain, needle art by Sandra Workman. 2 Needles Pulling Thread is who sent me this. And also on the inside of the card, where'd it go? Also on the inside was this neat little sticker. They're from Maine, by the way. They sent me a Maine sticker. Isn't that cute? Look at that. I got a Maine sticker. That is so cute. Terribly cute. But thank you, 2 Needles Pulling Thread. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is a nice touch. I'm going to have to keep something like this in mind for when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Send my 1,000th subscriber a little something in the mail. That was very nice of them. Thank you very much. So, if you're into watching new FlossTubers, I would really, or watching FlossTube in general, and you haven't yet found them, I would suggest you go to 2 Needles Pulling Thread and watch and subscribe to them. Thank you very much. This was a nice surprise I received in the mail today. I really appreciated it, especially after the day that we had yesterday. Yeah. I don't know if I showed these on my last video, but I got my last 2 Crazy Annie's Fabric of the Month Club mailings for November and December of 2021. I got those in the mail recently. I didn't know if I showed you. This one is called Mocha. It's color and cotton fabric. This is 36 count Edinburgh linen. I got 17 by 26 inch piece of Mocha. And it's kind of a taupey brown. Kind of a taupey brown. And this next one, this is the December 2021 color. This is moss. It's kind of a green. And yes, there's some modeling to it. It's kind of nice. So I got my last 2 2021 Fabric of the Month shipments in. One other thing I got. So I had a couple of finishes, like Easter type finishes, that I wanted to kind of finish up. So I bought some finishing fabric because I'm not really sure what I'm doing with it and how I'm going to finish them yet. So those of you who watched my videos, I think last year is when I finished this, I stitched Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. This is the one that came with the Sulky Thread Pack. I think this was a hands-on design pattern. Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. This is done with Sulky Threads. Sulky Threads are stitched 1 strand over 2. And this was just a piece of mushroom even weave I think I had on hand from a big box store. So this is Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. I wanted some finishing fabric to do it, so I found this brown finishing fabric at Joann's. They had their cotton fabrics 40% off. So they didn't have much on the bolt left, so I just bought this, and I think this will go quite nice on. I think it kind of looks like chocolate, so I think this will go quite nice on it. I don't know if I'm going to finish it as a big pillow. I don't know if I'm going to finish it as a flat fold or how I'm going to finish it just yet. Haven't really decided. I'll probably have to watch a couple of Vanna Pfeiffer's, the Twisted Stitchers finishing tutorials to see how to finish it. But I did get finishing fabric for Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. So there's that. I'm just going to fold this up because I can iron it again when I need to. Alright, so these pieces are pieces that I finished quite a long time ago. This one is signed. I tend to sign all my pieces, but I can't quite make out what year I finished this in. I don't know what designer designed this. This was just a little teeny bunny rabbit that I had stitched using some overdyed flosses. I don't remember what flosses I used for this. I don't know. I think this is 32 count fabric. I want to say it's 32 count fabric. It might be 28 count fabric. But this was a little teeny rabbit that I had stitched up. I bought 2 things of little Easter rabbit things. I think this one would go really cute on the back of this. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. It might be cute. I think it's going to be cute. But let me go ahead and do this and show you. So I bought this finishing fabric to potentially finish this. I'm probably just going to make this a little tiny pillow. I now have a little dough bowl on my coffee table in the living room that I can probably finish this up on. So that's probably what I'll do for this. I might just do some of this fabric around the front and then finish it up with some of the dark brown fabric on the back. I don't know yet. I haven't decided entirely how I'm going to finish this up, but anyway, there is that. I finished this quite a long time ago, this little rabbit. I just don't have very many FFOs. This was a piece that I started in 1993 and I finished up in 2017. This was out of a magazine and it's an Alma Lynn piece. You can see I still have to iron out the creases and whatnot, and it's a little dirty. I might try and, you know, spot wash it maybe with some Dawn dish soap or something to try and get the old, you can kind of see some of the hoop marks. I might try and get some of the hoop marks out of it. But this was an Alma Lynn piece out of a magazine. I forget what issue it was in, but way back when I first started stitching, I was really into bunnies, and not really entirely sure, but I picked up this kind of Eastery bunny fabric from Joann's as well. It's really cute, and it's an Easter bunny fabric, so I don't know, this might go really cute on that. And I don't know, we'll see. The color may be off. I don't know, colors may be off, but anyway, so I did pick up some finishing fabric to hopefully finish this off. We shall see what I decide to do. It may be a flat fold. It may just be a pillow. I may just decide to frame it. Who knows? may have to try that too. So there's a couple of spring pieces that I am looking at finishing up so I can display them for April. But we will see where I go from there. And then, of course, I have the finishing fabric for several other projects that I finished last year. This is My Love. I forget what design this was. I think I did this for a challenge in 2020. But this is the fabric that I was going to put it on. This is a Fireside Originals little acorn kit. And I'm probably looking at putting the acorn on this piece of fabric. It was either that one or this piece. I don't know for sure. But those are some FFOs, a couple other FFOs. And then, of course, this is Britty Christmas Kitty from Buttercup Designs. I have this really cute Christmas cat fabric to put it on. So I will be probably FFOing that when I FFO a bunch of stuff. And I did pick up some Easter ribbon that was on sale for like 50% off. So I have carrots in kind of a beige and white, some multicolored bunny rabbits, and also these peachy bunny rabbits. So I have some finishing ribbons and stuff like that. So that is my FFO, my planned FFO pile. Hopefully I'll be able to get through some of these FFOs and finally have some FFOs to display for Easter. I'm hoping that I can get them done for April. We shall see. All right. Oh, one more thing. Also, my birthday weekend, I made a purchase through Made by Mama Joan. Made by Mama Joan does project bags on Etsy. And I was on the Etsy shop. And this was a happy birthday project bag. Look at that, you guys. Cakes and happy birthdays and everything. Since the 18th was my birthday, on the 17th I ordered this and it came last week. So this is just a happy birthday project bag that I ordered for myself. And it's a vinyl front. And it's got kind of turquoise dots on the inside. Little happy little bag. Got it for my birthday. And it did not come like this. The plastic is since wrinkled because I've had stuff sitting on it. So the plastic front, it was sandwiched in between cardboard, so it actually came flat. But since I've had it, I've had stuff sitting on it, so it kind of wrinkled a little bit. So they don't come like this. They come flatter and sandwiched in cardboard. But anyway, this is a bag made by Mama Joan on Etsy. Birthday, 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 birthday. One of the things I may start for April, I got the Puntini when I think of seasons. So I got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I may start spring. Spring just started. I may start spring. I have the fabric to do it on. I have the fabric that I'm going to do it on. This is a piece of 32 count platinum Belfast linen. I pulled the threads for these, and I decided that it's platinum linen is not the called for fabric. It is raw linen from Zweigart. I found platinum. Platinum is going to work really well for it. So I'm going to do all 4 of them and finish them. Probably like the pillows. Very much like the pillows there. That is the plan anyway. And I'm going to be doing all 4 of them. So hopefully, the spring one looks like it'll be a quick stitch. And these are all charted in DMC colors. So I don't need to worry about stitching each stitch as I go to get the best variegation. So they look like they'd be fairly quick stitches. So if I could get spring done, maybe I'll get spring, or maybe I'll jump in right for summer, get summer done before summer's here, and and all the way through to the end of the year, so I can display them this year. So, because I plan on finishing them as pillows, I can probably easily get them finished up as that. So that is a potential planned start for April. And that is really all I have for you guys. I don't really have anything new to show you. I showed you my market haul last time. No real new things to show you, nothing else to update you on. I think that's it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Congratulations to my Long Dog Sampler's Pandemic Sampler for winning my March Stitchy Madness brackets. And hopefully you guys are doing well. We're just kind of getting on with life, and just kind of doing everything we can to keep on keeping on, because that's really all we can do. So until my next video, take care. We'll see you soon. Stay healthy. Get outside. The weather's getting a little warmer here in Ohio. Get outside. Get some more exercise. Just take care of yourselves and be good to each other, all right? So we will see you soon. Bye.